Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM21. It's Stage Racer. We're on episode 68. It's the Copa Sabatini. Not the strongest field. This is the first time in a while that we've got a punchy finish, and we don't have the entirety of the best punchers in the world at it, because all of the other punchy races, it feels like throughout the season, have been that type of race. It is punchy, it is steep, it is windy, but without the best punchers here, we've got a shot. Breakaway of 11, they still have a minute 45, and you can see the field is already thinning out. We're down to just over 100 in the peloton. I'm looking good. My teammates, not so much. Pedersen putting the work in. Garrison is essentially done, so I'm down to Pedersen and Camargo, and the field is yo-yoing, but it's really getting down to the last little group here.
Another attack
I'm going to have to put in more and more effort to keep position. 33k to go. I do have a -2 on the race day condition, which is not great, and you can see I'm starting to struggle to keep up as the late breaker Baradur types are going for it here.
The percentages are very high. An attack is launched.
It's being weird that it keeps switching to show other guys, but okay, here I am. We're down to 100. Position's going to recover. Camargo got dropped trying to get water. We'll see if that group gets back on board or not, but it looks like he's a little too far back. Here comes the next attack. 5 riders, 19k to go. Camargo back into the group. Pedersen, just protect me. And we'll see if Camargo gets back up here and at least is able to give me a lead out support of some kind to the end. This is not how I planned on this going. There's Pedersen with his position improving. Gap is out to 16 seconds on those 3 guys, and then 7 left from the break.
A couple of teams have set themselves up as pacemakers for the pack. They obviously don't have anybody in the breakaway.
Margo slowly making his way back up, but we're about to hit the climb for the penultimate time. Let's go 85, use our climbing legs at the pace that we can go. Really awkward through here, and a big attack coming. And there is a group of 12 going clear here, and I think that could be a winning move, but we were caught behind a whole bunch of slow riders and could not get forward. And now that gap is pretty healthy. I'm doing the main chasing here. Now there's 6 away as we've brought back a good chunk of the group, but definitely not the entire group. And now, pretty much single-handedly with just 1 or 2 riders, I've been able to pull it back. But here comes the next attack. There are contenders there, at least 1 anyway. 7k to go. Things are really stretched out right now. 5k.
We're into the last 5 kilometers.
This is burning some energy, keeping up the push, keeping up the momentum, but it's what's required to even be in contention for this final climb. So 85, steady at 85. You see a lot of these guys are really tired now, and this push is wearing down the field. Okay, the position. I need to improve the position as we are now 1.9k from the finish. I'm in a decent position here, but definitely not the ideal position, and no lead out. Okay, here we go. Into the final bit. Pushing. Now sprinting.
You see that? You can read the pain on the
Come on.
faces of the back
There's no space. There's no space. Coming through strong here to the finish, but there was no space, so I couldn't even accelerate. I couldn't sprint. I'll get in the top 10 though. It's an okay finish. I got a little too caught up in the group. 7th is where I finish on stage, considering I'm not a puncher. That's okay. If I could have found some space a little sooner, being at the front, if I would have had the lead out, Camargo or Pedersen still there, something left in the tank to put me second wheel, third wheel, I might have been able to win today. Uh, I had the energy, even with the -2. I had the push. I pushed a lot sooner than I was physically capable of getting clear because I didn't have space. So without the space, I couldn't slide through. And of course, the slide through thing can't be used in that final kilometer. 47K. 47K time trial here at the World Championships. Expected was a +3 as I started at fitness peak and it's an objective. I wind up with a -1 drop, but a +2, not bad. It's gonna probably rule out any chance of victory with an 80 time trial. I didn't even make the list of top 10 favorites. So for that, it's a big ask. It's a tall order. Not much climbing. There's a couple little hills is all, so I won't have any advantage over the pure time trialers. The pure time trialers, the 10 or so elite time trialers, they're going to be the favorites. With a +2, I might be able to crack the top 10. So that's our target here. Amazingly, I'm about the third rider to set off, so I'm very, very early in the day. The best thing that could happen is just after I get started, it starts, just after I cross the line, it starts raining, and all the favorites end up in really poor weather, and my time stands. Otherwise, because I'm almost certainly going to be the early leader. First checkpoint, just 9 seconds ahead of Walscheid, 8 seconds ahead of Matthews. Craddock gets a +5. I'm looking a little tired. I'm going to have to back off just a little bit here to a 72. The climbing part is done, but we've got to make up some ground as I'm a little bit deficit in terms of how hard I'm pushing at this stage. Still leading at the first time check, though. I don't know how long that'll hold. It's only a 3-second lead, but Yves Lampaert is obviously one of the favorites. Could be one of those 10 guys. And he is 3 seconds down. So far so good. I'm definitely gaining on this guy. And I think at a 72, we are recovering. The 73 was a good pick, but the 72 has been necessary for a while. We might be able to go back to 73 to try to finish this thing. But as we approach check number 2, comfortably in the lead now, 18 seconds ahead of Walscheid, and that is David de la Cruz, who we are very much gaining on. Michael Matthews, 4th man across the line, and he's putting in a pretty solid time as well. I need to stick with the 72 as we have not quite recovered the energy we need to make the final push. 5K to go. Craddock, he's got too much left in the tank. He's not pushing hard enough. 2K to go. Okay, 1K to go. And attacking the line. And there you go. I passed David de la Cruz. Get across the line at 54:30, just 6 seconds ahead of Michael Matthews. It's not a time that's going to hold up. It's a good time, but it's not going to hold up long term. Nowhere near it. In fact, Yves Lampaert already has overtaken me down to second. Let's skip straight to the final results. I have a feeling I will be outside of the top 10 with this one, but inside the top 20. Evenepoel now topping the time charts ahead of Lampaert and myself, still in a podium spot with more than 20 riders complete out of 65, so more than a third of the way through the field. But the best riders will be at the end. Casper Asgreen goes to the top of the time charts with a 53.59. First rider under a 54. Now sitting 4th place. We are already down to our last rider, William Barta, which means we are getting pretty low. I am 4th at the first time check, 3rd at the second, and 4th at the final time check as of right now. So still hanging on to a really good time at the moment. Let's see where we're at in the field. Tom Dumoulin is out on track right now, approaching the end. He's only just outside of the top 30. Rowan Dennis goes to the top of the time charts, but I'm still 5th at the moment. Craddock was 6th. Barta just 30th. Really bad day for him, even though he's an 80 time trialer. now 7th, as Wild Fan Art goes 3rd place. Cavagna is 6th. I do get a top 10. It is 7th place overall. I'll take that. That's better than expected. Marc Soler was 9th. Matthews, who was just after me, ended up hanging on to a top 10 himself. So, solid result with a 7th place. I needed a +5 to have any chance on a flat time trial such as that, as the pure time trialists were so much better. And there was more than 10 riders better than myself. So getting a top 10 with only a +2 is a good result on the day. And this is the week that the World Championships, the road race, should have been, meaning it appears that I might not have gotten selected unless it's further off. In recent years, it's been 1 week off from the time trial, but there's no sign of it here. So it looks like I have failed to gain selection, potentially a sprint race. Make perfect sense if that is why I failed to gain selection. But there should be some sort of email about what happened. I have gotten a level up here. What do I get for that one? Improvement to attributes. Okay, and a skill point, of course. I'm excited for this one. What do we get as a puncher? We could get +2 hills, but I would lose a time trial point. I would get to my 85 mountain for that, and that would make me far more competitive there. Stamina +2. Losing a time trial point, though, I'd put this as a +5. So I'll count that as a +5. The stage racer option is literally just a +4 and one of those points in Barrador, so it's only a +3. Definitely will not be going that direction. The puncher option so far is the best. Climber gives a +4 in decent areas, but still not as good as puncher. Time trial is a shocking selection that gives no progress in time trial or prologue, even though I'm nowhere near what my potential is for those. Losing points in sprinter. This is a terrible level up in terms of, even if you're diversifying what your options are, there's not much to be gained here. So a puncher with a +5, even though it's going to cost me a point of time trial, seems logical, because yes, I lose a point in time trial, but I gain much more than I gain in literally any other option. Additionally, +2 to hills is going to be pretty handy. +1 to acceleration, it's going to be handy. We spend a lot more time on punchy stages than we do on mountain stages. +1 to mountain, also pretty handy. The +2 to stamina, I think, is actually going to be the most useful besides that +2 to hills. Here's how my skills look now at the moment. We're completely done in the race category and the performance category. We have 2 out of 3 sections done in discovery and 1 out of 3 in personality. The 3 observation ones, I will use those just so we can finish that off with my next 3 levels before we then focus on charisma and then finally network. But we're getting down there. Just 9 levels remaining. Trying to remember the math on how many level ups that means here, but I think I'm down to 3 levels per level up now in terms of gains. So 3, and 3 means I am probably at 17 of my 20 attribute level ups. So I have 3 more opportunities to progress. And of course, I'm at that stage where we're seeing some downgrades, some minusing in those level ups. Even though I'm only 22, being at 17 out of your 20 level ups, I'm starting to see regression, as we've already seen with that -1 to the time trialing. So I'm going to face a little bit of that with the level ups, but it was still, as we saw there, that was a net +5. It still gains overall. So I should still get a little bit better with these last 3 level ups, but it's not going to be what it was with previous ones. It's definitely starting to reach that point where it's marginal gains. And 2 more riders have joined the squad for next season. From where we left off last, we're about to get into Lombardia, so it's the 9th of October. This is just about it. Now, the 3 new riders had already signed. That's Foss, Dombrowski, and Goossens. The rest are returning members of the squad. The 2 additional ones are Powers and Garrison. Not terribly helpful. Not terribly helpful to us at all. They are going to be domestiques and nothing more. So that hurts a little bit. But the profile for next season, we have 8 riders. We had 9 this season. In a way, we are going to be slightly better than we were. And that is definitely on the climbing side. We are better than we were. But Alves, Pedersen, Camargo, gone. That's my 3 top support riders. So my 3 best support riders that I had over the course of this last season are the ones that are leaving. In their place, we have Foss. Foss is going to be a stronger climber. We have Dombrowski, who is definitely okay as a climber, and Goossens, who is okay as a climber. So I'm replacing like for like, I want to say, with those 3. Foss is slightly higher rated as a 78, with Alves going out as a 77. Those 3 were a little more punchy than they were as climbers, as Camargo was the best climber, and he's only a 73 overall. I don't know Goossens' ratings, but he is fairly balanced. As we look at it, his mountain and hills are on that high end, that pie chart. They are what he brings to the table. So what we're kind of seeing, that pie chart gives you a hint. I want to say that Goossens is probably going to be Dombrowski level, 74. So 78 and 2 74s, replacing a 77, a 74, and a 73. That were a little more punchy. This group a little more climby. We're a little better in time trial. We're going to be a lot worse on the cobbles. Same in the sprint as we were. Slightly better suited to GC. That's got to be something, right? It's still not going to be great support, but better support? Anything better can only benefit me. Despite a less than perfect season, I still found myself leading the World Tour rankings and the Super Prestige. But it's been a very, very, very light calendar for me since the tour. There hasn't been anywhere near as much racing. I've found myself getting a lot of just top 10s or just top 20s. I have a feeling that my top spot is very much in jeopardy, and today is, well, really my last chance to do something about it. It's Lombardia. I've got a legitimate shot at this one because there's actually a lot of climbing, and we haven't seen much of that. We've seen just nothing but punchy finishes and simulating the sprints for quite a while here. We're seeing a bit of an attack right now, but that's fine. This is way too far out for these guys to be going, and if I went, the entire peloton would respond to it. Garrison doing the work at the front to try to keep it in check, and that's good. I have a +5 race day condition. That's going to give me a real chance. There's a lot of climbing. That's going to give me a real chance. It'd be nice to get a win on this one. But there's an awfully long distance to cover after the climbs before you get to the finish. And that makes it a lot harder without the other attributes. I mean, the hardest climb is this one that we're on right now. There's 4 more to come after that. But you've got quite a ways till that finish. It's a very short cobbled section there at the end. I don't worry about that too much, but I'm terrible on cobbles, so there's, that's a factor too. But today with a +6 on the cobbles gives me a 67. That's pretty okay. We're seeing the field thin out quite a bit already. My teammates are done. I'm going to be alone here in a short while. This first climb has not destroyed the peloton. Here's my idea. I want to just sit on through the next climb. Shorter ascent, shorter descent. The climb after that, climb number 3 out of these 5. It's steep. It's a little bit longer. And the descent is one of the longer 2 descents remaining. So I want to dig in a little bit deeper on that one. Put a little more into it. And see if I can't thin this field out significantly. Which we're down to 54, by the way, already. Let's see how I'm fine. Pushing that, thinning that field out, is going to make it a lot easier to get water, which I'm desperate for at the moment anyway. So I'm going to set myself to an 85 for that and see who can keep up. Okay, here comes the start to that push. And we'll see what happens. You never know, I might even escape somehow. I doubt that that's going to happen, but we'll see if they can keep up with an 85 tempo for a little bit. Movie stars pushing. They thought this was the climb to get it started too. Trapped at the moment. Can't get the space. There we go. Now we're pushing tempo. And I immediately split off groups of riders. Pull back the brake. We're down to 33, down to 30, down to 29. Down to 2. Let's get water now. There you go. There's one way to do it. And it's Pogacar. Pogacar and I. Slow down, slow down. Come on, I want to get with him, please. This is dangerous in the rain. Hopefully we don't crash. We've caught him. Okay, good. 33 seconds ahead. 13 riders chasing. Let's keep pushing. All or nothing, right? Even if those 13 catch us, that's a group of 15 going forward. I love our chances a lot better. We are opening the gap a little bit here during this descent, but meanwhile I'm still recovering anyway. And I've opened a gap on Pogacar. He's going slower than I am on this descent. Now at 50 seconds, but it's no longer 14 chasers. It's 7 chasers. Down to a 75. Gotta ease off. It is letting them come back at me, but they are chasing really hard, which means they're going to be probably as tired as I am by the time they make contact. Down to 5 chasers. Easing off. We need to still have something in the tank when we go over the top. Down to 1 chaser at the moment.
Some dreadful percentages. A rider is down.
It looks like 4 realistic chasers now, and it is. As I crest, I'm just running out of energy, but I actually have a 50-second gap. I opened it up a little bit further, and it's down to 3 chasers.
Has fallen,
okay,
he's not getting back up.
They're not attacking
like
now.
He'll have to abandon the race.
We'll sit on.
Holy
okay,
cow,
group of 4. So now we've got ourselves a chance here. I didn't know this field was so strong. Pogacar, Lopez, Almeida. I mean, this is a fantastic group. And look how tired all 4 of us are at this stage. There's still the one more climb to go. I like the chances of 4 of us staying away because there's that flat sector and then just going for it on the final climb. This is ideal because we're looking at a guaranteed top 5 if the 4 of us can stay away. Right now, Pogacar getting forced to do the work is going to keep him tired, though you can see he actually has recovered some as he is conserving. But now Lopez is going to take over. He's willing to contribute. Gap has come down by 20 seconds. There's 2 riders chasing, Vlasov and Bernal. Dang, that's a strong field. Landa, Hamilton, Gaudu, Caruso, Paulus, Van Houk are the chasers. But we have almost enough gap here. If we can get over the top, we can stay away from these guys, but I have a feeling we're about to have contact made again. Yes, those two, our teammates, two teammates have almost caught us. 18-second gap, and we are clear over the top. Almeida's not working. I'm not working. I've already gained a bit of recovery here, which is good. Now they've caught us. Now it's a group of 6. That's the good news, though, is there's 2 Ineos riders, which is going to force them into doing some work. But at the moment, nobody seems interested. Now, I've been recovering for quite a while, which is going to give me an advantage. It's coming back together. Nobody wants to do the work. Ineos has multiple riders here, and they're not sacrificing one to keep the chasers at bay. I'm not sacrificing myself to keep the chasers at bay, but I'm fully recovered. The chasers have to be working harder than us. That's the only good news here. The group is getting bigger and bigger, and instead of having 4 favorites being away and trying to stay away, we have sat up. The 4 of us are going to be fully
15 kilometers to the finish line.
fully fresh. Because we're seeing an acceleration finally? No, not really. Yates. Godu. Landa.
David Godu is off.
Don't want to go on the flat. I'm terrible on the flat. I will follow a large group. I know this game. I know this game too well sometimes. If a large group attacks more than half, and you're left in the chase group, nobody in the chase group's going to follow. Nobody in the chase group's going to chase. Except you. So, you follow or get left behind at your own peril. 3 have gone away. At the moment, this is a chase. It's a chase, yes. Okay, I still have my gel. This is definitely taking some out of the legs. We have 21 contenders now. It's 2 minutes to the chase group of 9, and it's 15 minutes back to Alves, my closest teammate. 6.8k. I think this is the time to use the gel because, yes, we're about to hit the climb, and that's where you win or lose this race. The descent is easy. I'm a good descender. I have the skills that give you a bit of a bonus to that. Okay, let's start moving forward. At 85, I've picked up about 1 bike length, 2 bike lengths, and it's a skinny road, but I come clear. It's cobble, but it's only 1 star. The cobbles are not good for me. It's going to burn a lot of energy. Wait till we get through the cobbles. Okay, there we go. We're through the cobbles, and we attack. Attack, attack, attack. And they've sat up. I've gotten to 2nd position here. 2.8k. Start to push a little harder. It is a descent. That's forward. And we have a separation. 1.7k, still descending. Inside the final kilometer. Can we hold them off? We have the descent. I'm not a sprinter. I don't know if I can hold anybody off, but it's gonna be tight. And it's a win! Right position, right time. They just couldn't overtake me. The descent to help me out. The technical finish to help me out. Bernal, Paulus on my wheel, but they could not overtake me. And we come away with a victory at Lombardia. That is huge. Huge win for us. That's the biggest win in quite a while. Looking at the energy, I had plenty left. We made the right move at the right time. I wanted to wait until after the cobbles, but A, I knew we were getting close to the top of the climb, and B, I had plenty of energy. I pushed a little bit early. It's fantastic that I had the +5. The sprint was a little bit better, but especially that cobble rating. It's only 1 star, but with a really, really poor cobble rating, you're going to struggle with pace through there. Having a 27 downhill helped keep me away. Having +12, +10 to the stamina resistance. It's a good day in the XP department. First monument victory, 100 points. With 8 riders, the index has us 13th, so we are looking comfortable for World Tour. with, about a week left in signing. With a strong showing from Pogačar, he has moved into a podium place in the World Tour rankings. Bernal is second, and I lead, and I opened that gap up a bit, and that's probably going to be enough points to finish first in the World Tour rankings for this season. The Super Prestige, though, it's quite some distance. Wout van Aert has been number one for quite a while, and I'm a clear number two, though. The gap had closed up behind me with both Bernal and Pogačar close on my heels, but that win has opened that gap up maybe enough. It might be enough that they're not going to catch up to me. This is nowhere near a perfect season, though. I mean, this is far from it. So hopefully with next season, we'll do even better. It may not have felt like a lot, but I've had 9 wins this season. No small feat. And it's Peter Sagan, who's with Rally Cycling these days. So he's doing Continental Pro. Yeah, 8th in the Continental rankings with 592 points. So a lot of those wins have not been coming in Continental races. It's been coming when Rally gets invites to World Tour races. I take it back. I absolutely take it back. Peter Sagan is 97th with 524 Super Prestige points. His 20 wins are coming at very low-level races. We're talking Continental, not Continental Pro races. It's still a good year if you got 20 wins under your belt. Jake Stewart with 19 for Groupama FDJ. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Not quite the season. We have one stage race, what do you call it, Guangzhou. It's not much of a race. So we'll quickly get through that next episode. We'll wrap up the season and start the new one next time out. That does it for this one, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.